Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological phenomenon in which hostages or victims of abuse develop a bond or emotional connection with their captors or abusers. This bond often manifests as sympathy, loyalty, or even affection towards the individual or group causing harm, despite the danger or harm posed by them. It is a rare but well-documented condition that can arise in situations involving intense stress, fear, and a perceived power imbalance. The term Stockholm Syndrome originated from a 1973 bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden. During the 6-day hostage situation, the captives began to exhibit trust and affection towards their captors, even defending them after the ordeal ended. Psychologists studying the incident coined the term to describe this surprising emotional attachment. Stockholm Syndrome is not strictly limited to hostage scenarios. It can also occur in abusive relationships where victims may develop a dependency on abusive partners, believing they cannot live without them. Human trafficking victims, as they may form a bond with their traffickers as a survival mechanism. Cult membership, where members may display loyalty to a leader who exploits and manipulates them. Prisoners of war, when captives may develop sympathies for their captors as a way to endure confinement. These are the key attributes of Stockholm Syndrome. Number 1, perception of kindness. Captors may occasionally show acts of kindness, such as providing food or sparing the victim from harm. These acts, though minimal, are magnified in the victim's mind and create a sense of gratitude. Number 2, survival instincts. Stockholm Syndrome is thought to arise as a coping mechanism under extreme stress. The victim's brain may rationalize that bonding with the captor increases the chances of survival. Number 3, emotional bonding with the captor. Victims begin to see their captors as protectors or allies, often empathizing with them despite the threat posed. Number 4, hostility toward rescuers. In some cases, victims may distrust or resent those trying to help or rescue them. They may perceive interventions as threatening to their fragile connection with the captor. And number 5, long-term psychological effects. Stockholm Syndrome can lead to confusion, guilt, and difficulties in rebuilding trust and independence, even after the situation is resolved. Stockholm Syndrome could be explained by following psychological mechanisms. Cognitive dissonance. Victims struggle to reconcile the harm caused by their captor with moments of kindness, leading to a skewed perception of the captor's character. Trauma bonding. Prolonged exposure to fear coupled with intermittent kindness creates a bond similar to the attachment formed in abusive relationships. Learned helplessness. Victims may feel powerless and dependent, reinforcing their reliance on the captor for basic needs or protection. Neurological responses. Stress and fear activate survival instincts, which can suppress critical thinking and amplify emotional connections to the source of threat. Overcoming Stockholm Syndrome is very hard and often requires professional support, which can include therapy. Counseling or psychotherapy can help victims process their trauma and rebuild autonomy. Support networks, family and friends play a critical role in helping victims reestablish trust and regain their independence. Education. Understanding the psychological mechanisms of the syndrome can help victims recognize their experience as a survival response, reducing feelings of guilt or confusion. Stockholm Syndrome highlights the complexity of human psychology under extreme stress. While rare, it underscores the profound impact that fear, dependency, and trauma can have on emotional connections. By understanding and addressing Stockholm Syndrome, mental health professionals can better support individuals who have experienced such situations, helping them heal and regain control over their lives.